Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Flight Lieutenant Olivia Roberts, and I'm a P8 Poseidon pilot in the Royal Australian Air Force. As we gather here at dawn, I would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land, the Grange people. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and honour their enduring connection to this place where we come together in remembrance. This morning I have the honour and privilege to stand beside David Howard and share his words and story. David retired in 2015 as an executive officer at the Australian Signals Directorate. After a 37-year career in foreign signals intelligence and telecommunications. David served the first 10 years of his career with 7th Signal Regiment Electronic Warfare as a collection operator and advanced signals analyst. For the final 27 years of his career, David served at the Australian Signals Directorate in various roles including advanced signals analyst, intelligence reporter, collection management, training roles, and special collection operations. David has represented Australia as a Five Eyes intelligence delegation lead on multiple occasions. Today, David would like us to talk about something we rarely hear about. It's called service in silence. Top secret information from World War II was finally declassified by Australia's National Signals Intelligence Agency, the Australian Signals Directorate. For decades, this information could not be spoken about. Those involved were bound by law and by honour to remain silent. The information was originally classified and punishable under the Crimes Act to protect sensitive capability. 77 years after the war, what was revealed for the first time was extraordinary service in silence of Australian Defence personnel providing signals intelligence. Instead of guns or weapons, these members fought the enemy with radios, codes, and relentless concentration. They were part of Australia's early signals intelligence effort, supporting General Douglas MacArthur and Allied forces across the Pacific after Japan entered the war in December 1941. Today I would like to tell you just a little of their story and the impact their signals collection, analysis, and code-breaking capabilities had on the war. In particular, the story of the Garage Girls, a group of young women from the Australian Women's Army Service who worked on the team decoding enemy messages. Their service began at a time when Australia itself faced the very real threat of invasion. Most Australian troops were still overseas fighting Nazi Germany. British forces were stretched to their limit. By early 1942, Japan had captured Singapore, bombed Pearl Harbor, and swept through Malaya, Indonesia, and much of Papua New Guinea. Only hastily recalled Australian forces standing at Port Moresby stood between Japan and our shores. In Brisbane, inside a large suburban home called Narambla, a small group of young women from the Australian Women's Army Service worked in a garage annex. That garage was the headquarters of one of the most secret intelligence units of the war. They became known as the Garage Girls. Working 8-hour shifts around the clock, they operated cipher machines similar to the German Enigma, decoded intercepted Japanese military messages. They also handled encrypted Allied communications, ensuring vital intelligence reached the right people in time. The pressure was immense. A single mistake could corrupt a message. A delay could cost lives. Yet they kept going hour after hour, day after day, without recognition and without ever being able to speak about what they were doing. Their work, alongside linguists, analysts, and intercept operators, played a critical role in Allied victories across the Pacific. One of the most significant was the Battle of Midway in June 1942. Our very own signals intelligence revealed the Japanese Navy's plans, where they were going, what ships they had, and when they would strike. This gave Allied forces vital warning and allowed them to prepare. At Midway, Japan lost four major aircraft carriers, hundreds of aircraft, and many of its most experienced pilots. The balance of the war in the Pacific shifted. Another decisive moment came in 1943, when a decoded Japanese message revealed the full flight plan of Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, a Japanese Navy commander and the architect of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Thanks to the intercept, Allied aircraft were able to shoot down his plane. Signals intelligence also provided early warnings of air raids, helped protect Northern Australia, guided attacks on Japanese shipping, and tracked enemy aircraft movements across the region. Over time, Japan's supply lines were cut. By the end of the war, most of its merchant shipping had been destroyed. Even in the final days of the conflict, these Australians were still at work. After the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, one of the first Japanese reports describing the devastation was intercepted by an Australian operator and decoded by the team in Brisbane. These are just a few examples of their service and of those deployed forward. Signals intelligence also played a hugely important role in the battles of Mill Bay, the Coral Sea, Hollandia, and Leyte. General MacArthur credited signals intelligence with shortening the war by 2 years and saving countless lives. For decades, none of this could be acknowledged. Only in 2023, 80 years after their service began, were the 3 remaining garage girls recognised for their pioneering service with the Central Bureau Brisbane. The Australian Intelligence Medal recipients were Joyce Grace, Coral Hines, and Elisa Hale. Sadly, to our knowledge, only 2 of the garage girls are alive today. At very impressive ages, Joyce Grace aged 103 and Alyssa Hale aged 101. Like so many who served in intelligence roles, they kept their vow of secrecy. They could not tell their families, they could not share their achievements. Their service was quiet, but its impact was profound. And that tradition continues. Those who work in signals intelligence today still serve in silence, protecting Australia and its allies, often unseen and unknown. Their legacy lives on in the Australian Signals Directorate, in our cybersecurity efforts, and in the enduring intelligence partnership between Australia, the United States, Great Britain, Canada, and New Zealand. A partnership that began during World War II and has continued and developed into the formal Five Eyes intelligence cooperation and sharing agreement, still in use today. Men and women, civilian and military, working side by side with one mission: reveal their secrets and protect our own. Thank you all for being here this morning. Your presence means a great deal to all those who have served and those who continue to serve. David, thank you for entrusting me to share this story on your behalf. Please join me in remembering and thanking all those who have served and all those who continue to serve in silence, lest we forget.